Today, we're going to observe how to set up Azure SQL Data Warehouse as a target in a data source to target river. The first thing you need to do is hit the Create New River button on the top right, and then select Data Source to Target River. You select the data source that you want to load into your Azure Data Warehouse. So in this case, we're going to choose MySQL. Here, as with all of our other table migrations, you have multiple options on how to bring this data in, but we'll come back to that later. Is in your target, select Azure SQL Data Warehouse. Here, you can configure your target connection and choose the schema, table, and table type that you will be bringing this data in. You have row store and column store options available depending on the configuration of your target data warehouse. Down here, you have three different types of loading modes: upsert merge, append only, and overwrite. These three modes load in the data in a different way depending on which one is selected. If the overwrite option is selected, it will replace the table in your destination cloud data warehouse with the table with your specified table name. If the append only option is selected, it will bring in data from the source and essentially perform a union on the table with that table name specified in the destination cloud data warehouse. Upsert merge is selected. Rivery will try to match the keys of the source data with the keys of your target data and update those that match and union those that do not match. So essentially, we'll be performing an update of your existing table. To our source tab here, we see that we have multiple options on how to bring our data into our Azure SQL Data Warehouse. The first one is the multi-table, which allows you to select multiple schemas and tables that you wish to migrate over to the Azure cloud. The second one is custom query, which allows you to use a SQL query to extract specific data, tables, or perform some elementary transformations before bringing the data into your target. The next one is union tables, which allows you to bring multiple tables from a single schema into your Azure SQL Data Warehouse. The next one is a legacy river, which allows you to manually select schemas and table names in your source and bring them into your Azure SQL Data Warehouse. Once you configure your schema, table, table type, distribution method, and related options in your target Azure SQL Data Warehouse, you can then go to the Columns Mapping tab and hit the Auto Mapping button to automatically create a map of the target and the source in regard to the column names and the data types, which Rivery will map for you. Next, on the Schedule tab, you'll be able to set your desired cadence for running this river and creating the data pool, as well as assign alert groups to different email addresses on failure and on warnings.